I have spent the last week trying to put together the most comprehensive list of Liberty Falls Easter eggs on all of YouTube, which has been pretty hard because new Easter eggs are being found every single day. Though it feels like the community have finally collectively agreed that everything to be found on Liberty Falls has been found. So here we are, with my complete list of Liberty Falls Easter eggs. I will say that doesn't actually include the main Easter egg quest, but for everything else, let's get started. Liberty Falls continues the long-running tradition of including a musical Easter egg on the map. As always, it's triggered by interacting with free hidden objects. But unlike previous games where we'd be looking for teddy bears, now we're looking for Mr. Peak's headphones. As I just said, there are 3 pairs of headphones on the map, and we'll start in the alleyway between the motel and the bowling alley. The second pair of headphones is found inside the church on one of the pews. The third and final headphones are by the rear door of the bank, over by the benches. Interacting with all 3 headphones will activate the secret song, which is Destroy Something Beautiful by Christina Scabia. I've heard a lot of people saying that it kind of has Evanescence vibes, which, yeah, I do think is fair, but you'll have to head into the game yourself to find out, because I want to keep my ad revenue. If you remember the coffin dance Easter egg found back in Black Ops Cold War, you may not be that surprised to know there's a similar Easter egg found in Liberty Falls. This Easter egg is extremely easy to activate. Just head over to the mystery box spawn location near Ollie's Comics. Either side of that box are 2 coin-operated binoculars. The really nice thing about this Easter egg is that while you're using these binoculars, the zombies just completely ignore you, so you don't need to worry about doing this at the end of a round. In fact, I'd actually recommend doing it with the largest horde nearby possible, and you'll see why in a moment. So when looking through these binoculars, you'll want to look towards the top of the cliffs where you'll be able to spot a lone dancing zombie. All you actually have to do is center up both pairs of binoculars on that dancing zombie. You'll know you've done this right when 2 laser beams will appear on the cliffside. All that's left to do now is just relax and enjoy the show. The motel in Liberty Falls is yet another location where you'll be able to grab yourself some free items, and if you're really lucky, maybe even a wonder weapon. This is such a simple Easter egg as well because all you need to do is melee the vending machine hatch. When you do this, it will dispense a random item for you. This can only be done once per round, and for me, more often than not, I'd just be getting scrap, some equipment, or if I'm really unlucky, just a bag of crisps. The best I've ever got was a stamina up perk and an ammo mod. I have actually seen the vending machine drop the ray gun for some other people, so they must just be luckier than me. If you do want to speed this process up a little though, just head to the church and buy yourself melee macchiato.
Tastes like coffee made with shit.
With that perk in hand, you'll now have the power to punch the vending machine, destroying it and ejecting a whole bunch of items. Again, it's completely random what you'll get. Sometimes it's just a lot of points, other times you may get a weapon or a kill streak, or if you're this guy over on Reddit, just the best rewards I've ever seen. If you do decide to do this though, just remember that you won't be able to actually get anything else from the machine after this, because you've destroyed it. It's pretty self-explanatory. You've likely spotted that the motel in Liberty Falls has a blood-filled swimming pool. Well, if you'd guessed this had to be the location of some kind of Easter egg, you'd be right. It's fairly simple to do, but requires you to have 3 Semtex grenades, and some good accuracy. It also has to be done during a vermin round, so once you've got all of those pieces in place, just throw your 3 Semtex grenades into the pool as quickly as possible.
Semtex out!
If you do this right, after a moment it will spawn a red orb that will dump a bunch of items for you, and a few more vermin. This Easter egg is also repeatable every vermin round, so I'm sure you can get some really good rewards if you try it enough times. Everybody loves a good freebie, and there's a pretty simple way to get tons of free items and points in Liberty Falls. The only requirement for this Easter egg is to have some kind of explosive weapon. It's possible to do this with a grenade, but much easier if you do it with the ray gun, a launcher, or the Sally, like I do. Once you're ready, just head to the church, where you'll be able to spot a severed head on one of the church spires. All you have to do is explode the head. Doing that will cause it to rain zombies. Gravity does its thing and inevitably ends their life on the concrete, but they will leave behind a random assortment of items, mostly point canisters, but often kill streaks and even ether tools if you're really lucky. It's well worth doing this Easter egg every single time you play, and is great for an early game boost. The unique wonder weapon on Liberty Falls is the Frustodyne M23, also known as the jet gun. Now, this isn't your granddad's jet gun from Transit. This is, no joke, one of the best wonder weapons we've ever had in Zombies, so it's well worth getting, if not essential, for your high round attempts. The jet gun is available through the mystery box, but if you don't want to bet on luck and waste all your points, it's also buildable, and here's how. You'll need 3 parts to build the jet gun: a handbrake, a water pressure gauge, and some electrical wires. The easiest of those to get is the handbrake. The handbrake is found in the graveyard, and we're here to meet a zombified groundskeeper. This guy will spawn somewhat randomly, but I found that if you start a new round, he'll often spawn towards the end of that round. Just keep an eye out for a slightly unusual zombie. Not only will he look like a groundskeeper, but he also completely ignores you. If you then kill him, he will drop a toolshed key, which you'll need to access the groundskeeper's toolshed found nearby.
Alright, Riffle.
Inside the shed will be the handbrake, our first jet gun piece. For the second component, we first need to head to the flower shop. Just out the front, you can find a faucet. By interacting with it, you will pull off the valve, which we'll then need to take over to Liberty Lanes. To the right of the bowling alleys, you'll find a panel on the wall, which, when meleeed, will fall off, revealing some pipework. If you interact with these pipes, you'll attach the valve from the flower shop, and then be able to hold interact to increase the water pressure. This may all sound pretty easy, but you'll also have to contend with infinitely spawning zombies at the same time, so this step can be a real pain in the arse. You are able to leave the valve if you get overrun, but do keep in mind that the pressure will only hold for a little while, so don't go too far. Luckily, it's pretty easy to train on the bowling alleys, so you'll have a fair amount of time to increase the pressure between groups of zombies. Once the pressure builds enough, the pipes will burst and you can grab the second jet gun component, the water pressure gauge. The final jet gun piece is much easier to get, although you will need to get yourself a Mangler arm cannon. Now, you can either do this by crafting one at the crafting bench, or I prefer to just wait until around wave 10 when one will spawn in and then just get it off a Mangler's corpse. With the cannon in hand, head over to the comic shop where across the street you can find Radio House. Now just use the cannon on the security gates. Once you're inside, you'll find piles of trash on the floor. One of these piles will contain the electrical wiring you need to finish building the jet gun. Just watch out for potential jump scares. Finally, we have all the components to build the jet gun. We just need to head over to the motel, where upstairs in the motel room you can find a crafting table to build yourself the weapon.
Tear them to pieces!
Is that designed for a weapon? Looks like you already found some of the parts.
Like I said earlier, the jet gun is seriously powerful, even without being pack-a-punch. Its primary fire will suck in and shred zombies, and its alternate fire creates a large explosion that's really great for getting out of tight situations. After each use, it does have a slight cooldown period, but it also has infinite ammo, so that's a pretty good trade-off. Also, just like every other weapon, this can be pack-a-punched 3 times, so it is seriously an insanely powerful wonder weapon and is definitely worth the time to get.
Max armor!
Hopefully, thanks to this video, you've got yourself a lot of freebies on Liberty Falls, so I think that is deserving of a like, and if you really enjoyed this video, please subscribe as well. I'd massively appreciate it and love to see you back for my next video. If you've got yourself the jet gun on Liberty Falls, you'll now have the opportunity to activate one of the craziest Easter eggs we've ever seen in Zombies, and it all revolves around Aetherella. Hidden around the town, there are 9 small figurines of Aetherella to be found. To actually collect them, you'll need to suck them up using the jet gun, and the best place to start is Ollie's Comics, as there's actually 4 figurines in here alone.
Get lost. Aetherella doesn't.
The 5th figurine is found on the side of the motel, just above the M on the sign. Jumping down off the side of the abandoned rooftop, you'll be able to find another figurine tucked away on a neighbouring rooftop. The 7th figurine is found on a window-mounted aircon unit on the hill up to the church. If we carry on up the hill to the church, we can find the 8th figurine on one of the right-hand side windows at the front of the church. The final figurine is perched just below the Liberty Lane sign, and once they're all collected, this will happen.
I will drown this place.
I guess you now know why I called this one of the craziest Easter eggs we've ever had in Zombies. I can't really think of another Easter egg that's even close to turning you into an actual superhero. It actually lasts quite a while as well, and will no doubt surprise your friends if you do this in a game without them knowing. But wait, there's more. Because if you head over to the Aetherella trap while you are Aetherella, and then activate the trap, you will get an upgraded set of powers, including enhanced speed and an Aether Shroud. This really feels like there's something more to this Easter egg still to be found, so maybe I will have to do some kind of update to this in the future. Deadshot Daiquiri is a pretty awesome perk that essentially gives you auto-aim on zombie heads. It's great for getting critical kills, but maybe you'd rather spend your points elsewhere. Well, you can actually save those points and get yourself Deadshot, as it's possible to get it for free in the graveyard. Right at the back of the graveyard, you'll want to head over to this opening looking out of the map. This will be easiest to do with a sniper, but on the fence just in the distance, you'll find 5 tin cans. Your goal is to shoot all 5 cans first try within around 15 seconds. If you miss a single shot, or you're just too slow in general, you will fail this challenge and not be able to try it again. However, if you do manage to do it, you will be rewarded with a completely free Deadshot daiquiri for your efforts.
Time to bust some heads!
If you want to rain down holy hellfire on your zombie foes, then look no further than the church in Liberty Falls. At the very back of the church are 2 votive stands. The candles on these stands will be unlit, and it's your job to light them. You can do this a couple of ways, either with a Molotov like I'm doing here, or if you have a weapon that has napalm burst, that'll work too. Once you've lit both stands, the church will begin to be bombarded with etheric Molotovs. These burn with a purple fire and kill any zombies that walk through them. This is essentially a free trap that you can activate once per round, even during the boss fight if you like, so it's actually one of the most useful Easter eggs on the entirety of Liberty Falls. Who doesn't love free points in Zombies? It's a long-known Easter egg that by going prone in front of a perk machine, you can pick up some spare change. But you may not have spotted that inside the bowling alley is a pool table. If we shoot the balls, you'll pull off the trick shot of a lifetime and receive a free 100 points. Liberty Lanes is a pretty prominent feature of Liberty Falls. Not only a really great spot to train, it's also a functional bowling alley, and here's how you can activate it. Hidden around Liberty Falls are 5 pairs of bowling shoes, which you'll need to shoot. The first of these that you're likely to find are on the counter inside the petrol station. The second pair of shoes are found across the road from Ollie's Comics, inside Frank's Hardware, where you can spot them on the shelf. The third pair of shoes are inside the house as you head up the hill towards the church. They're tucked away on the right hand side just under a chair. Next up, at the back of the graveyard just outside the map, the shoes will be hanging from a tree. And the final pair are just outside the bowling alley inside the funeral home, where you'll be able to spot them sitting on top of the coffin. Once you've shot all 5 pairs, you'll be teleported inside the bowling alley where Mr. Peaks has set up a game of zombie bowling just for you. For completing this Easter egg, and depending on your final score, you'll receive a trophy and some loot. You'll receive improved rewards for every 100 points, with 300 being the top score, for which you'll actually receive some really nice goodies, an achievement, and a calling card for your efforts. If you enjoyed that bowling Easter egg and would like to try that again, you actually can reactivate the Easter egg every 5 rounds or so, just by heading back to the bowling alley and shooting the brand new pair of shoes that have just appeared inside the toilet, at which point you'll just be teleported back to the bowling alley. It's always nice when there's ways of getting free items or weapons in a zombies map, and Liberty Falls has a fair few methods. One of the best involves these black and yellow cars. There are 3 of these around the town, one in the alley beside Ollie's Comics, one in the back area of the hill up to the church, and one more is found out the front of the church. What you'll be looking for in these cars is a Mr. Peaks teddy sitting on the back seat. Once you find a car that has Mr. Peaks, you'll then need to use a mangler cannon to destroy that car. Now you can even do this by luring a mangler over to the car and letting them destroy it for you. Or if you don't fancy doing that, just use a mangler arm cannon yourself and destroy the car that way. Doing so will of course cause the car to explode, in the process ejecting a random weapon from the boot. If you're really lucky, you may even get a wonder weapon, but from my experience, that's extremely rare. So long as you keep the other two cars from being destroyed, Mr. Peaks will respawn in another car about 5 rounds later and allow you to try your luck all over again. While playing Liberty Falls, you may have spotted some keys lying around and wondered what they're for. Well, the answer is a little complicated, but I'll walk you through it. First up, let's head over to the bank where you'll no doubt have spotted the vault. When we interact with the vault, it prompts us to enter a code. This code is actually found on post-it notes around the map, and while the code does change every match, the locations of those post-it notes remain the same. So it's pretty easy to just memorize their locations and find the code every single match. The first piece of this code is actually found inside the bank, just on the counter. For the second part of the code, just head over to Ollie's Comics and take a look behind the counter. The third and final piece of the code is in the bowling alley. This one is actually hidden underneath an ice bucket that just by punching or shooting will move and reveal the final piece of code below. Now just head back over to the bank and enter your code into the vault. Now it's open, you'll be able to head in and out at will. And when inside, you are completely safe, but you will only be able to stay for about 40 seconds. It's inside this vault that we can find a limited number of safety deposit boxes which each require a key to open. What can be found in these boxes is random, but changes depending on the rarity of key you use. These keys are actually dropped by the elite enemies when you kill them, and depending on the type of elite and the round you're on, that will determine the rarity of the key. I'd recommend not even bothering with green or blue keys, as the rewards just aren't worth it. But if you do find yourself a purple or especially a gold key, head back to the vault and open up a box. You'll have a chance to randomly receive perks, weapons, kill streaks, self-revives, or even a ray gun if you're really lucky. Hidden all around Liberty Falls, there are golden power-up icons that will allow you to summon its corresponding power-up just by shooting it. There's a total of 7 of these power-ups, with Fire Sale currently being strangely missing. Here's where to find them all. If you're looking for a quick armor refill on Liberty Falls, just head to the Grease Trap restaurant, where on a cart at the back of the room will be a golden armor vest. Just shoot it to receive your free power-up.
Max Armor.
If you want to grab yourself a free full power perk, just head up the hill near Liberty Lanes. If you stand on the edge and look out of the map, you should be able to spot a golden full power icon. Just shoot it to receive your free power up. You can grab a free max ammo right from the very start of a match on Liberty Falls. Just look off the side of the spawn rooftop towards the yellow bridge. On this bridge, at the foot of the yellow beams, you'll be able to spot a golden max ammo icon.
Max Ammo.
To get yourself a free double points, just look towards the water tower just outside of Liberty Falls, where you should be able to just about spot a golden double points icon.
Double points.
The free nuke on Liberty Falls can be found inside the chandelier inside the bank. Just head up to the abandoned rooftop and look down through the windows to spot it. Alternatively, just bring along any kind of explosive weapon and use it on the chandelier itself, which is actually a fair bit easier. A free insta-kill power-up is found by heading to the rear of the graveyard and looking back towards the church. On the roof, you can find a golden insta-kill skull. Just shoot it to get your free power-up. Head on down to Liberty Falls' Ollie's Comics, where just to the side of the store, you can find a golden bonus points icon that will give you the free power-up just by shooting it.
Bonus points.
While not as exciting as most of the Easter eggs in this video, there are also a number of visual Easter eggs, secrets and references found all around Liberty Falls. For instance, the Actor Base arcade cabinet returns once again, which we've previously seen in about 4 different Call of Duty games. Ollie's Comics is a treasure trove of these kinds of Easter eggs. This is where we can find this poster, which is a direct reference to the original Black Ops box art. There's also this poster for the Zombies map Origins, as we saw in Black Ops 2, featuring one of the giant robots that we see on that map. Up at the graveyard, we can also find a grave for Ruth Dempsey, who could be a potential relative of Tank Dempsey. Perhaps this even could be his mysterious daughter that the community has speculated about for years now. Easily the best of all the visual gags in Liberty Falls comes courtesy of Project Janus and a very unfortunately placed telegraph pole. I don't really think I need to explain this one any further. If there's any Easter eggs in Liberty Falls that I've missed, please do let me know in the comments below.